like is the prompt, or what is the flow for writing that 5 email sequence? That sounds like a very straightforward thing, but like that can be the make or break. So just what does that look like?
Yeah, so we gave the prompt, we gave the agent an overall arching structure. Not sure if I'm going to remember all five, but the first one for sure is a hook. So the first one is trying to find something really personalized and hooking with that. The second one from memory is more educational. It's saying, here's what you could, trying to help them understand that they have a problem. Here's what you're missing out on by not dynamic pricing. The third one will always share some sort of customer story or blog article. I think can't remember what the fourth one does exactly. I think it's a little bit more heavy-handed on the sales. Hey, you haven't done it yet. It's about time. And then the fifth one is a polite step back. Just letting people pushing a little more on our free trial and saying the free trial is there and available for you whenever you want to. So that's the overall structure. We haven't yet experimented much with that overall structure, so we're still going with that. But that's one of our ideas is to play with that.
I think Santa has a question. Is the number 5 in terms of sequence length something you experimented or got to?
It's not something we've experimented on yet. It's what we took as best practice from our other emailing activities. But it's a great question and definitely something we want to keep experimenting on. Of course, if somebody reacts to one of the emails, we stop the sequence and they get a different sequence. But we haven't yet figured out whether that 5 is too few or too many. Yeah, we need to figure that out. Yeah, let me just go into exactly how Sherlock works. So Sherlock is actually 3 different workflows. There is the Sherlock, the researcher, though. So this is the one that will go away and from our large database, it selects, and it's got XX here because we keep playing around with how many emails we give Sherlock a week, as we're never sure to scale up or whether we should keep experimenting with something. So we keep playing around with that. And that's one of the variables that we have. But we give Sherlock a certain number of variables once a week. It goes away and researches everything it can find on those people against the 12 triggers that I mentioned. And it then generates the 5 email sequences in the second workflow. So the second workflow is the email creation process. And then there is a third workflow, which is the approvals. And I'll come on to talk a little bit about this in a minute. But what the agent is doing is scoring each email against its own set of criteria. If it fails, it will go back and rewrite. And it also sends some of these to us for verification and approval. So what happened after the research is we get, or there is in the background, we can always look at it if we want to. We don't tend to, I have to say. We get something like this, which is a very big Google Sheet with all of that research that the agent has pulled about an individual. And it always makes me laugh because we always have these sophisticated LLMs and then behind it all is a Google Sheet. So it's pretty funny. But it's storing it here, and then when it's sending the emails, it's pulling it from here and sending it. So we'll keep changing this, but we'll define a certain number that we want to go every day. And that depends on everything else that we have going on, also on the deliverability and the infrastructure, also on whether we're experimenting something. So we've got that flexibility to play with the number of emails that we're sending out. But it will just pull from this spreadsheet after the research has been done and send those emails via Smart Lead.